Hey.
Hey there! You made it! Welcome to the Universal Studio Tour. I'm Jimmy Fallon. I'll be making sure that you get through this experience in one piece.
I love Universal Studios Hollywood. I mean, I love all theme parks, but I haven't been to all theme parks, so we're starting here. It's a park that's not only close to my childhood, but also has some insane history behind it. Not only in filmmaking, but also in the theme park world. They've been incredibly influential in ways I wouldn't have expected. Like, I don't even think we'd have this
an immersion into the books and movies and immersed ourselves into these stories that
this crazy push for immersion that we do now if it wasn't for Harry Potter World. Like, Disney at first was actually working with J.K. Rowling to make a Harry Potter World in Disney World, but due to creative differences that Universal didn't have, she ended up going with them. And this ended up being one of the first fully immersive lands in a theme park, paving the way for places like Avatar Land, Galaxy's Edge, Nintendo World. Anyways, back to Universal. Over the course of a couple days, I've created my conclusive review of every single ride in the theme park. I'm probably not going to be super harsh because I do really like this theme park, but I'm also not going to sugarcoat it if a ride sucks. Before that, I just want to talk about the current state of Universal Studios right now in general. Universal used to be kind of an expo of secrets, tricks, and methods used by filmmakers throughout the years, at least for the most part. While there were a lot of amusement attractions, there were also places where you could sit down, maybe even eat something, and hear about something from a movie or TV show you like that you probably didn't know before. Recently, I've noticed that the filmmaking flair and behind-the-scenes insight that used to be so prevalent is almost completely gone. All the legacy attractions that really got me into filmmaking are gone now. The only two I could even put in that ballpark are the Studio Tour and Waterworld. Everything else is based on a popular movie, which is fine, but I think there should be a balance. The food has always been like super alright. Most people usually just eat at City Walk. That's what I do at least. But I'm kind of okay with the park having bad food because it's like a half-day park and they have the best drink known to man. And that's usually the only thing I get. Alright, now for the rides. This wheel has every ride and important attraction that I'm going to be talking about for the duration of this video. Thought I'd spice it up a bit, make this list a little bit unpredictable. Oh god.
It's confusing. Again, until you remember that we're all in hell. Then it makes a lot of sense.
I'm officially naming myself the #1 Fast and Furious Supercharged disliker. Now, I'm still gonna ride it, but if Fast and Furious Supercharged has no haters, I'm just as dead as Animal Act. But the main reason that it's on this list is because it's a prime example of what I was just talking about in Universal Studios. Before, there was just a big stupid warehouse at the end of Universal's Central Walkway. There were two shows that actually held true to Universal's original intention. The Special Effects Show, and my pride and joy, Animal Actors.
To Universal's Animal Actors.
Hi, my name is Ariel Leonard. I'm an animal trainer here at Universal Studios Hollywood. This is Jasper. He's a guinea pig. He was in the movie G-Force.
Just taunting us with a show they scrapped for budget cuts. Both of these shows were great at giving you a taste of what movie magic had to offer, and the fact that they got rid of them for a single roller coaster, you can tell Universal is just pandering to a thrill ride crowd, even though it isn't what makes Universal a unique park. Because without the studio part of Universal Studios, it's just another theme park in California. And it's not big enough to provide this little on its main theme. And it's ridiculous that the old Fast and Furious attraction on the Studio Tour, Fast and Furious Supercharged, was closed way before the opening of this new ride. They don't intersect each other. It's not like one crosses over with the continuity of the other. It's driving cars. I don't care. And Supercharged was a great finale to the tour. I know a lot of people don't like it because of the acting, but I think it's funny and it makes me laugh every time.
This is what we're doing. This is the race day after party. And the way driver, move that vehicle. It's about to get real interesting.
Or used to before they shot it in the head. And it's not like the one in Florida. The one in Florida sucks because it's just that ride. But Supercharged in Hollywood works because it is the end of an already hour-long tour and it gives it some momentum towards the end. I think that's what makes it special. The one in Florida sucks because it's just that section. It's literally, you get on the tour bus, you see the thing from the studio tour,
This is the race day after party.
and then you get off. That's the whole ride. It takes up a lot of space in the park. This is like a whole different video. This is less of a review of Hollywood Drift because it hasn't come out yet. It's more of a criticism of the idea to make it in the first place. Like, I know Fast and Furious is popular overseas, but this series is about to keel over in like a year. I'm probably still gonna ride it. We all are, but it will still never be better than what it replaced. Waterworld is a spectacular stunt show. Waterworld is a spectacular stunt show. One of the best live shows you can see at any theme park. It's pretty off to the side, and most people just miss it. But that means seating is actually not that packed most days, unless it's like high occupancy day, like holidays and such. The stunts and effects are amazing. Honestly, I've probably seen this stunt show more times than I've seen the actual movie Waterworld. And sadly, with the way things are, they'll probably get rid of this too. If we're being honest with ourselves, the main reason that most live shows get cut anyways is because of cost cutting. And it's ridiculous. Live performances are some of the best parts of being at the park. The New York Street guys, the Universal Monsters, and even Doc Brown will walk around the park sometimes. I just think stuff like that is what really gives this place life. And with the release of Wicked, we've had people like Galinda show up at the park, and that's awesome. I haven't seen Elphaba anywhere, which is kind of odd, but I also might have just missed her. Like before at Universal, you could learn about how the movies and shows you liked were made. But now excluding the studio tour in this show, it's mostly just IP-based attractions, with no real insight into the movies themselves or their creation. Waterworld is a great example of how amazing live performances can be. So stop getting rid of them.
Oh, hey there! You made it! Welcome to the Universal Studio Tour.
All I know is that I was depressed before, and now I found meaning. I didn't know you were depressed. Neither did I.
The Universal Studio Tour is the foundation of everything the park is today. Without the Gray Line bus tours in the early 60s, we'd probably never have such a comfortable filming environment where people can just drive through and see how things work almost all the time. The tour is always the first thing I go on, and if I can do a second one, it never hurts. The studio tour at its core is amazing, but recently, I can't help but feel something missing. Someone missing.
Hey, buddy. How's it going? Remember me?
No.
Just like old times.
I know Jimmy Fallon wasn't always part of the studio tour, but he might as well be. This is the most at home I've seen him in any performance. This beats his show, and that's like his show. Sometimes they would have little bits filmed that Jimmy would do, like on 6 Points, Texas, Little Europe,
In New York!
and even a soundstage. They were small filmed bits that would show you what that section of the backlot would look like if it was actually in action. In action. Because not only were they pretty charming, but they were also great at giving you a camera's perspective at the area around you. And of course, I can't talk about the studio tour with Jimmy Fallon without talking about the greatest song ever put at the end of a tour.
Have a tram-tastic day. Have a tram.
I mean, I don't know that, but I'm claiming. This song is absolute gold, and I die a little on the inside when I don't hear it on the studio tour, I'm gonna be honest. Because recently, it definitely feels like they're kind of rolling out all the Jimmy Fallon stuff. And with 6 Points, Texas getting demolished recently, it looks like this town really isn't big enough for the both of us, Jimmy Fallon. So rest in peace to this era of the tour. Who knows what kind of new overhaul they'll do with it next. Because this is the one cinema-centric ride that I'm pretty sure they'll never get rid of just because of how historic it is. Hundreds of movies, TV shows, and commercials have been filmed on the Universal lot. And I'll never get tired of going down there and hearing about a new production that's coming out, or even just experiencing King Kong 360 3D for like the 70th time. I like those rides. The studio tour will never not have something to offer at least somebody, and I think that's why I love it so much, is because anybody can get on it. If you're at Universal, you've probably seen a movie, and if you've seen a movie, you've probably seen one of their movies. I mean, hopefully they don't just get rid of this tour for something that raises profit margins by a tiny bit, but it's not out of the question, clearly. So this is one of the only attractions that's still truly faithful to the original idea of Universal Studios. So it would be a tragedy if they were to get rid of this as well. The Universal Studio Tour will always be the best attraction at the park because it's what the entire place was built upon. And I think instead of erasing that history, we should be immortalizing it in a much better way than dropping a warehouse on top of historical. I think we should be immortalizing it. I love the Studio Tour. I love Jimmy Fallon. And next ride. J.K. Rowling, in all honesty, hasn't improved the Harry Potter franchise since she finished the Deathly Hallows back in 2007. And even then, there's a lot of racist, sexist, and classist things in these books that just couldn't be removed from the films because of her meddling. Harry Potter has almost always worked best when she's not at the helm. In Hogsmeade, you can enjoy Harry Potter as yourself and not as one of the bigoted characters she wrote. The warm food is definitely not the best, but the candy shop Honeydukes is always a great place to get a snack, and butterbeer is the best drink ever made, period, no contest. They've gotten rid of basically any food or drink that isn't making them money, except for the meat pies for some reason. I know no one's buying them. The environment is warm and welcoming despite being covered in ice and snow. And the stage performances are always great to catch, although I haven't seen the Frog Choir in a while, and they were my favorite. So I'm kind of spiteful about that. The Forbidden Journey is quite literally the definitive Harry Potter ride. It's set during the perfect era between books 3 and 4, which means it's written just before the time when the plot holes started becoming way too inconvenient. So you're really experiencing where the franchise peaked, in my opinion. Walking through the Hogwarts queue will never not be a surreal experience. Although I do think that the Gryffindor Common Room is incredibly inaccurate because there's a line all the way through it. I'm not gonna gripe on it too much. I think that's just a me thing. That and the fact that this ride is not 3D anymore. It used to be 3D and it would give you glasses that looked like the Quidditch goggles from the movies, but they were removed for motion sickness reasons, which makes sense. There are 2 other major Harry Potter rides around the world which I have yet to see, but I think this one sets a great standard as the first. The wand stuff is cool. They're $50 though. I mean, I guess when you break your wand, you can get a marked down replacement. It used to be free. That's not a thing anymore. But I've had this for like 6 years and I don't know, this never isn't fun. It's definitely super inconvenient to carry around the actual park, but I think just having one of your own wands is always a great experience. I think the Forbidden Journey does a great job at really making you feel like you're being put on a magical adventure. The ride system is great at putting you right up into the action. I will say I do wish there were more practical areas, like the Whomping Willow will always be a sight to see, and the same with Aragog. I think that the Forbidden Forest being completely practical was a great idea. So if there's anything I had to say to J.K. Rowling, it's thank you for setting the foundation, but stop making Fantastic Beasts movies.
What's cracking, little bitches?
I might be a hypocrite for this one, but I love this ride. Seeing Optimus Prime, say, roll out and then tackle Megatron right in front of you to get him out of the way. Like, I'm sorry, but my hell yeah meter just went up. It's not something I can control. Even with the lack of practical effects, I can still say this ride is entertaining from beginning to end. Don't get me wrong, this doesn't make the Bay movies any better, but I had a good time with this one. As much as I hate to say it, this is probably the only way mainstream audiences can even stomach Transformers. It's just not something that boring people like. And in this situation, I'd rather have this than Backdraft. I know it's a legacy attraction, okay? But it's just a big fire effects display. Animal actors in the special effects show were great at showing multiple aspects of a given practice, but this is just fire effects the attraction. So yeah, I like the Transformers ride even more than a lot of their feature films. Evac is better characterized than any Transformer introduced after the 2007 movie, so put some respect on his name. But Wheelie's in the pre-show, so I'm gonna have to sue for mental distress. Bowser's Challenge, as well as Nintendo World, is so impressive to look at, just completely jam-packed full of places and characters. And if you haven't noticed yet, the wheel does not include the Bowser Jr. layer experience, because I haven't gone on it. So I thought today, I'd bring in my resident Nintendo expert, who has already done this multiple times. But I do still have thoughts about Bowser, which will come later.
Yes. Yes. So the Super Nintendo World and Mario and what? Nintendo likes to have free reign on things. Like I'm pretty sure that they were the ones who pushed for the Lego Mario to be play interactive instead of like Sonic or Zelda where they're literally just regular. I'm pretty sure they wanted Mario to be interactive gamer play experience to the point where they just had to stop. And I'm pretty sure that's why Nintendo World is the way it is. It's a very, especially the Hollywood one, is a very cramped, small space. But the whole point of Nintendo World is the power-up bands and the game sections. I think if you just look at the world as a place to, you know, interact with all the other little sections, you know, like the Rosalina and the binoculars and everything, it's a really cool way to see this new world being taken. And I think it's very interesting that a lot of people actually don't like it. But there are a lot of things to talk about here, and I think the games especially are done. They are done. We have the Goomba Crazy Crank game, which this one has got to be the worst one. All you do is crank the Goomba crank, and the Goomba will walk up and then walk down. I don't even know exactly, like, what is the point? Are we defeating the Goomba? Are we helping the Goomba walk? Is he paralyzed? I don't even know. Maybe. The next one is the Koopa Troopa Power. This one, I actually like this one. You have to time the Koopa Troopa shell. This is actually something that would happen in the actual games, and this one is actually fun to play interactively, and it's really interesting. The Piranha Plant Nap Mishap is really fun with a friend, but if you play it by yourself, you're gonna cry because you have to run and punch really hard. Because sometimes the sensitivity on the timers don't work. You have to press the timer buttons until the time runs out, and you have to run from each one. And I just, with a friend is a lot better, or with multiple friends would be a lot better. The Thwomp Panel Panic. I actually don't remember this one. Hold on, give me 1 second. What even is? Oh my god! This one is actually not too bad. You do have to wait in a line most times for this one, because you have to unlock the key. But when you actually do it, it's a lot of fun. You have to click all of these boxes around, and then you get the key, and it's actually a whole lot of fun. And then you have the Bowser Jr. Shadow Showdown. Now there's no real footage, or not a lot of footage for this one, because this one you use both hands. There's nowhere to really put your phone. They ask you to put your stuff in these little cubbies. And this one's a lot of fun. You jump and you try to collect things, and you throw fireballs. It kind of reminds me of the Xbox Connect. It feels like the same technology, and it honestly just felt like it, the way your character moves up. But it's actually a lot of fun, this one. This one is a lot of fun. And you can really see, because all of these are spread around the world, that you can actually see like how fun a lot of these are. Okay, the thing with Mario Kart is we already knew the system that Mario Kart was going to use because of the patent that Universal had made for the Mario Kart ride. So it's really interesting. A lot of people showed a lot of like, oh, this ride is ass. This ride is so ass. I have to wait in a long line because it's so buns. Why are you waiting in a line for something and you don't even know how it's gonna be? Oh, it's a long line. It must be good. I think this ride is fun in two ways. It's fun if you want to do the gaming thing, but then if you're just doing the gaming thing and not actually experiencing the ride, it just has this like kind of distasteful feeling to it. You kind of do it and you're just like, oh, that was it, that's all. I get a bad high score because I suck, but I'm actually really good at it. And this guy isn't. But if you actually take your time to appreciate all the sets and all the things going on, it actually becomes really, really awesome and really fun to just see. Because to a Nintendo fan, you see all of these elements put in your life so beautifully, and everything moves so right. I mean, not this, and people like this, but I don't like this. But even just the things like the line queue is just so nice. Like, it's one of the things that I feel like if you do the fast pass, it's fine. Because people complain about the line. I love that line. What people don't know is that this section of the line is actually for the Yoshi ride in Japan. I think it's just really cool that we get to see it and experience it. And the music is so beautiful. But to me, the most fun thing in Nintendo World is this little cave section on the second story, where you can like collect fireballs and mushrooms and like hit enemies. It's really hidden. Not a lot of people know about this one because it's on the second story. Who's gonna take the stairs? But it's actually a lot of fun, and this world is a lot better if you actually have a power-up band, because it actually makes it more fun to experience the entire world instead of just walking in and be like, oh, I can't do that, and just leave. Overall, I think people give Nintendo World a bad rap because you don't really do much and it's really small. There's not really so much to do, and like Toadstool Cafe has like the worst food. Actually, wait, two more things. Toadstool Cafe, they don't have a lot on the menu. The dessert is good and the drinks are good, but the actual food itself is just okay. The atmosphere is kind of cool, all the toads walking around, but the thing is, it loops this video of toads being like shot at with meteors, so it's just like I have to see these toads get shot at with meteors all the time. It's like, I don't want to do this. And then the best thing in Nintendo World is actually the bathroom. It's beautiful, and they play the nice ocean music from New Super Mario Bros. I really like it. But overall, I think Nintendo World gets a bad rap, and I actually enjoy it. Like, if you go there and you understand, oh, like this like section is for people who have the power band, and I bet it's a lot of fun. But it's even fun just watching someone do it. And, you know, maybe socialize a little bit and be like, hey, can I like borrow it and have a try? Maybe someone will be nice. But it is LA, so who knows? All right, back to you. Sam, back to you. Okay. All right.
Wow, that was just amazing. Bowser's Challenge is a good ride for what it was trying to do. The environment could definitely use some work because for a Mario Kart ride, there's definitely a lack of track synergy. You can almost never tell where you're going to be going. You're kind of just being thrown all over the place, and there's not really enough time to take anything in. My only gripe is that you can kind of just farm coins in very specific places, and eventually you can just win every time. Like, not to brag or anything, but I win every time I go. I still have yet to beat the daily high scores though. These people are a different breed. I do have one major complaint. Boom boom.
Boom boom.
Boom boom! What the fuck is a boom boom? Junior, who is Boom Boom? I've never seen Boom Boom.
He is heavily underrepresented in this area compared to the rest of the Koopalings. Like, I don't even think he's technically an actual Koopaling, but they treat him like one, like 50% of the time. Boom Boom makes one appearance the entire ride, which was very disappointing for me. Justice for my man Boom Boom. He deserves better. I'm giving this ride a Boom Boom out of 10. Even though it's built on the corpse of something far greater, my opinion on the Jurassic World ride is about the same as the Jurassic World movie. It's not as good as the original, but it definitely holds its own. The animatronics are still great, there's less of them, and I think the baby Stegosaurus isn't as good of a replacement for the first dinosaur you see as the Brachiosaurus. And don't count the Mosasaurus. One, it's on a screen, and two, technically not a dinosaur. Honestly, I think that part was perfect and should have been left untouched. I think the ending is improved. You get to see the blue animatronic, the Indominus Rex is an amazing sight, and the T-Rex is still there from the old ride. But I do think there are some parts that should have been completely remade in favor of the Mosasaurus section. I don't know why that was the part they decided to skimp out on. Like the Velociraptor enclosure. It's iconic to the first movie, but in the second movie, it looks completely different one. And they didn't do anything for the ride to make it look different. They recolored it now, so there's blue accents, but for the most part, it's the same. And I think the Velociraptor enclosure from Jurassic World, in its own right, is recognizable. And maybe that's just because I've seen that movie too many times. I don't know. I feel like Owen in the raptor enclosure putting his hands up, that's one of the most iconic parts of the Jurassic World movie. and probably what most people think of when you say Jurassic World. So why not spruce up that part of the ride? The screens that pop up with Claire and Owen is never not going to be hilarious to me, because all I can imagine is this falling into place with the exact movie timeline, and Claire's nephews are in imminent danger while Claire and Owen are yelling at the people on the boat ride to keep their hands and feet inside of the vehicle. Other than the Brachiosaur missing, I think this ride is still a must-go because there are some amazing things to see.
Banana, banana, beep boop bop bop boo.
I'm getting divorced.
Look, I hate this ride, but not for the reasons you might think. I actually love Despicable Me. It was one of my favorite movies as a kid, but this is just not it. There are so many major problems with this ride. The queue before the pre-show is Minion Purgatory. It's almost time to go.
And we're having lots of fun in the line.
We're in the line of Despicable Me, and I'm having the worst time of my life.
I'm not.
The ride system is more outdated than The Simpsons, and The Simpsons is the closest thing you have to a legacy ride at this point that's not Studio Tour. You have to be a child to even immerse yourself or enjoy this ride visually. And I'm not just saying that like in a children are dumb way. There are plenty of rides made for kids that are really good. This ride used to be amazing to me. The plot is actually really good, and the characters are portrayed well. I just think that this place needs like a whole remake, not a remodel, not a refurbishment like Jurassic World. This place needs full bulldoze and remake. Close it and completely remake the ride system. I never want to hear another Minion quiz ever again, because as of now, this place drives me insane. You want to be a Minion? Let's see if you can think like one. This is one of the best rides in the park, which is ironic because it's right next door from the worst ride in the park. Most Illumination movies outside of Despicable Me have a mean streak of being incredibly forgettable or average. The first Secret Life of Pets movie is good. That's it. I mean, it's kind of just Toy Story, but it's enjoyable in its own right. And this ride is incredible, at least compared to the standard animated movie Universal ride. It's slow, but there's enough happening to make you re-ride it so you can see what you missed. The queue is great and has a lot of moving parts that fill it with life. The ride is good at highlighting Illumination's strength, which is creating good visuals. Illumination's visuals are not the problem. It's whoever's been in the writing room for like the past 5 years. It's mostly why I'm confused about the lack of robots in Jurassic World. Secret Life of Pets has a whopping 64 animated figures. Meanwhile, Jurassic World has like 15. Less variety in animatronics, less number of animatronics, and there's plenty of space to add more. I know the pets are smaller, but there's still nearly not enough dinosaurs. Predator Cove literally has 2 dinosaurs and their compies, and I can't even count them as 2 animatronics because they're working off of the same system. Back to Secret Life of Pets, if I had to pick a low point, it would definitely be the fireworks factory. I feel like they kind of laid into the projection visuals a little bit too much. I want Universal to start adding some depth to the environments they create, and I think Secret Life of Pets is a great step towards that. I think more of the rides at Universal should use Secret Life of Pets as a great example of how to actually make an animated movie ride instead of just like Kung Fu Panda, which isn't even on the list because I don't count it. It's worse than Shrek in every way, and I hate it. Like, there are a very small couple things that I enjoy about the Kung Fu Panda experience, but for the most part, I despise it, and I think it's a waste of space. And if they were going to turn it into this like DreamWorks theater thing, why has it been Kung Fu Panda for like the last 5 years? If anything, if you were gonna do something like that, where it's a DreamWorks theater now and not just the Shrek theater, then it should alternate between different DreamWorks IPs instead of just having a big cameo show at the beginning, and then the rest is a screen-based ride. I feel like Shrek at least knew what it was and had a couple practical things that gave it some charm. But Kung Fu Panda doesn't even have that charm. And there's not enough DreamWorks characters for it to warrant to being the DreamWorks theater. So yeah, it's not on this list, and I got mad just talking about it, so I'm done. It's just a roller coaster. Okay, I'm kidding. Kinda. I think anybody who saw Prisoner of Azkaban really wanted to fly on a hippogriff. That was one of the defining moments of that movie for me. So while I am appreciative that this ride exists, I don't think it really indulges that fantasy just because it's so cramped in one area, and flying on a wicker hippogriff isn't exactly what I had in mind. But there is a really cool hippogriff animatronic, so I make sure I bow every time just because it's kind of cool. Hagrid's hut could definitely use a bit of life to it, for sure. I think there's a severe lack of pumpkins for a ride that takes place during Prisoner of Azkaban. I mean, it's fun though, even if it's the worst Hagrid ride comparing it to the one in Florida. As one of the very few people my age who loves and grew up with The Simpsons, it's very hard for me to say this, but I get why people want it gone. If you're a Simpsons fan, it's a great ride, but if you're not, then it's a subpar ride, and it replaced Back to the Future, which regardless of quality, is a better ride to have at Universal Studios. Like, I love Springfield Land, I love Krusty Burger, Moe's, Lard Lad Donuts. I love walking in and seeing all these places from a show I love. But a lot of people don't love this show anymore. I love that all the places in Springfield are real places to eat. I mean, Quickie Mart is a little bit underwhelming because it just has Simpsons merch you can find at basically any of the other gift shops. So not as good as it could be, especially because you can't even get squishies there. You have to go outside to a place next to the Quickie Mart to even get a squishy. Which, I mean, you can still get them, but it's weird that it's not in the Quickie Mart. I just don't think there's a way you can please the masses with this ride because the masses don't like The Simpsons anymore. Which is really disappointing because I love The Simpsons Land and I wouldn't want it to go. But logistically, it's probably next on the cutting board. In my opinion, The Simpsons ride is a great love letter to the show in more ways than even some of the modern Disney episodes. Most of modern Disney episodes. So seeing that love encapsulated in an area for as long as it's been there is still great to see. I'm definitely gonna miss sitting down and eating somewhere here and seeing little Easter eggs from the show.
No! God, please, no!
In terms of theming, fine. Sure. It's in the movie. It works. In terms of literally everything else, this is probably the biggest waste of space in the entire park. 1, why is it a water playground? The only water playground. 2, who is going to Universal Studios for one water playground? And 3, it's not a water park in the movie, so I don't know why it is here. I'm not sure why they decided on this and not a mini roller coaster because there's an actual roller coaster in the movie. You're better off playing with the fountains in City Walk or going down to the Dino Play area. There's a spinning ride like the Dumbo ride at Disneyland, and I think that one works because it's just a little kid ride. I think that's what should be there. And I know a water playground is also for kids, but I don't think any parent is bringing their kid to Universal specifically to go to the one water playground and then be wet everywhere else for the rest of the day. If Despicable Me gets upgraded, they should for sure bulldoze this part too, because there is nothing I want back from this section either.
Yeah, boy.
The Mummy is hailed by everyone who goes as being the best ride, and I love it too. But come on, really? The best? The whole ride is like 30 seconds. It's really good, but I think people hype up roller coasters too much, even if there's no actual substance. I mean, the showrooms they do have are cool. There's a little ET statue as an Easter egg in the corner, because that's the ride that used to be here. But if there's any ride I'm gonna hate on because it's worse than what it replaced, it's this one. ET Adventure is a perfect ride. I know it's in Orlando, but it'll probably be removed before I even get a glimpse of that thing in real life. So bring back ET Adventure in Hollywood right now. This ride is placed in a huge soundstage, and the best they can do is a bunch of glowing pictures. I think it's especially disappointing given what they did in Orlando. I know I keep bringing up Orlando, but they have much better rides. This place only has 3 showrooms, and I think with all that extra space, they should definitely have done more with it. Speaking of empty space, a lot of online discourse about the size of the park and the lack of attractions has been pointed at the golf course that sits at the bottom and overlooks the entire park. And like, they're not wrong. Maybe it's because I'm not old and rich, but they could totally go golf somewhere else for all I care. The golf course certainly holds a lot of historical significance when it comes to Hollywood pre-production, but they clearly don't care about historical significance, so tear it down. There's plenty of space out there just ripe for the taking. And I think rich people need to just stick to backyard sports like shuffleboard and croquet anyways. I think I just miss animal actors. And I made this whole video because I miss animal actors. I mean, it's in Florida. They'll Probably get rid of that too. If you like this video, I have a TikTok, so if you want more of whatever I'm doing, I post stuff there sometimes. And if you didn't like this video, you probably didn't watch this far. And if you did, eat a dick. Thank you for watching, take it sleazy, and have a tramtastic day.
Just watch your step as you exit the tram, and everything will be alright. Have a tramtastic day. Have a tramtastic night. Just watch your step as you exit the tram, and everything will be alright.
Race day after party.